Hi everyone. Oh, my neck is there. Hi everyone. This is Messy Jessie again. And as you can tell by the title, oh shit, yeah, there you go. Um, I'm looking into hopefully doing a little research or whatever into Bob Saget's death because everyone was wondering how he died. The guy from Full House, making some videos. I mean, I remember enjoying everything he did. He can be a little raunchy, yes, but but um, but he was a great guy, nice guy. But I wish I would have met him. But I heard I or watched a video on YouTube earlier today, and a mortuary or an autopsy or coroner stating he how his he had the skull fracture and where it was located, and it said that it was at the back of the skull, and the fractures was all the way over here to about the ear. How could he have gotten that fracture? He had to have gotten hit but in the back of the head. And during that report that I saw, they said, oh, he could have gotten hit by a trunk going on, slamming on his head, which, yeah, but I'll look into, I'm going to look into it while I'm streaming here. How much force it would take to fracture a skull, shatter a skull, and fracture the skull, and cause fractures in a skull. And then they said it could be from hitting your head while getting out of the car. This fracture was right here. The door frame is like this, so it would have been up here if he would have gotten hit. So this reporter, I don't know where he got his fracture from, but the fracture would not be, the shattered skull would be up here, not back here, if he hit his head on the door frame. Okay? There's a report out there by, I think, Inside Edition or something like that. Or was it Entertainment Weekly? It's one of those tablet ones. And when he said he hit his head on the door frame, and when the coroner told us that it was right here, there was no way you could hit your head on the door frame at that angle. Okay? Maybe the trunk, maybe, if it was, you know what I'm talking about. But I've hit my head on the trunk with that before and never caused that bad of an injury. Okay? Then I was thinking maybe a fall, like he slipped and hit a corner, maybe. But he wouldn't have been able to get up after that. When you think you'd be knocked unconscious, you wouldn't get up, feel a little dizzy, and say, "I'm going to bed." Something like that would knock you the fuck out. Okay? So there's stories saying that he somehow gotten this head injury, fractured his skull and shattered it, and then got up and walked to bed. Someone with that massive injury like that would not be able to get up off onto their own 2 feet and walk to the bed. They'd be out cold. Okay? In my opinion. Let's see what it says. How much blunt force trauma does it need to Let's see. How much blunt trauma does it take to break a skull? How much force does it take to break a skull? To fracture the skull, it would require 500 kgf, or the force that 500 kilograms or 1,100 pounds would exert in a standard gravity. Let's see here. It says here, deaths due to blunt force trauma to the head as a result of assault are some of the most common cases incurred by the practicing forensic pathologists. Previous studies have shown inflicting an injury to the head region is one of the most effective methods of murder. The important factors that determine severity of trauma, including the type of weapon used, type and site of skull fracture, instructional hemorrhage, and severity of brain injury. The aim of the study was to determine the characteristics of blunt force trauma to the skull produced by many different instruments. 9 adult monkeys' skulls were used as models. Commonly found blunt objects composing a Warrington hammer, hockey stick, open face mallet were used in the study. A machine calibrated force generator was used to hold the blunt object in place and to hit the skulls at forces of 12.5 N and 25 N, resulting traumatic effects and fractures, which means linear, depressed, basilar, comminuted, and diastic. I'm sorry. My eyes are bad. Were analyzed according to the type of blunt object used, surface area of contact, and absolute force, N/cm2, delivered. Results showed that all investigated instruments were capable of producing similar injuries. The severity of trauma was not related to the surface area of contact with the blunt objects. However, only high absolute force produced communicated fractures. These findings were observational as the samples were too small of statistical conclusions. Now let's see what it says here. Can a skull fracture be made by a trunk hitting your head? Let's see here. Can a skull fracture be made by a car trunk? A head injury is any trauma to the scalp, skin, or brain. The injury may only be a minor bump on the skull or a serious brain injury. Let's see. A head injury can be as mild as a bump, bruise, or a cut on the head, and can be moderate to severe because of the concussion, deep cut, fractured bone. Let's see. How can a bump cause a neurosurgeon drill 3 holes to the air in the tight? Okay, forensic autopsy of blunt force trauma. Let's see what to do when you injure your head. Let's see here. Head injuries should always be taken seriously, whether you bump, bruise, scraped, or cut. You should be at risk for bleeding, infections, a traumatic brain injury, and concussion. Serious medical common type of injuries, head injuries, range from wounds to your scalp, fractures to the skull or face, swelling, bruising, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. 10% assault, 6.5% head struck by or against, 21% unknown/other, 17.3 motor vehicle/traffic, 35.2% falls. Let's see. Let's see here. Can you get a fractured skull from a car trunk falling on you?
According to the urgency room, head injuries most commonly originate from motor vehicle accidents, physical altercations, sports-related accidents and, above all, falls. These incidents can cut your skin, impact your skull and even shake you enough to cause a concussion or other traumatic brain injury.
Okay. Only a major impact or blow to the head can crack the skull. The motor vehicle crashes are certainly one of the main types of ways this injury happens. Skull fracture from a car accident can be caused in multiple ways: head hitting the steering wheel, window, or dashboard. Let's see. Bob Saget's autopsy. Let's see. It says here, right here, such an intensive head. Come on, stop it. Oh, come on, stop it. Such an extensive head injury would likely have left the actor confused, if not unconscious, experts say. Bob Saget, the comedian and actor, died after what appeared to be a significant blow to the head. One of the fractures in his skull is in several places caused bleeding across both sides of his brain, according to an autopsy released on Friday. The findings complicated the picture of Saget's death that has emerged in recent days. Far from a bump on the head that might have just been shrugged off, the autopsy described an unmistakably serious set of injuries that would, at the very least, have probably left someone confused, brain experts said. The report, prepared by Dr. Joshua Stephanie, the chief medical examiner of Orange and Osceola County in Florida, ascribed Mr. Saget's injuries to a fall. How can you? Okay. It's most probable that the decedent suffered an unwitnessed fall backwards and struck the posterior aspect of the head, referring to the back of the skull. Still, the autopsy left a number of unresolved questions about how exactly Saget, 65, was so badly hurt. He was found dead in a hotel room in the Ritz-Carlton, Orlando, Grand Lake on June 9th, during a weekend of stand-up comedy acts. His family said this week that the authorities determined that he had hit his head, thought nothing of it, and went to bed. If you fall and hit the back of your head, it would leave you unconscious. It wouldn't leave you dazed. Okay? If the actor struck his head hard enough and in just the wrong place, it is possible that fractures would have extended to other parts of the skull. Brain injury, experts said, situations where someone cannot break their fall are even more dangerous. It's like an egg cracking. Dr. Jeffrey Bazarian, an emergency physician and concussion expert at the University of Rochester Medical Center, you hit your head in one spot and it can crack from the back to the front, which happened to Saget. But experts say that with such an extensive injury, it's unlikely that Saget would have intentionally ignored it. The injury would likely have left him confused, if not unconscious. I doubt he was lucid, Dr. Bazarian said, and doubt he thought, I'm going to sleep this off. Some neurosurgeons said that it would be unusual for a typical fall to cause Saget's set of fractures to the back, the right side, and the front of the skull. Those doctors said that the injuries appeared more reminiscent, or whatever, you know what I'm trying to say, one suffered by people who fall from a considerable height and get thrown from their seat in a car crash. Let's question ourselves here, people. They're saying that his injuries isn't to a fall. It's to someone who was in a car crash or been thrown from a couple floors down. Okay? The autopsy, though, found no injuries to other parts of Saget's body. He would be expected in a lengthier fall. The medical examiner ruled that the death was accidental. I think they should change that because I think it was murder. Yeah. The local sheriff's office had previously said that there was no signs of foul play. May look like no signs of foul play because the person who killed him straightened up the place. This is what I see in my mind's eye. This is significant trauma, said Dr. Gavin Britz, the chair in neurosurgery at Houston Methodist. This is something I find with someone with a baseball bat to the head or who had fallen from 20 or 30 feet. They're even questioning his death, okay? These people are questioning the pathologists and everybody's saying that it was accidental because they don't believe it was accidental. And I'm starting to think it too. Britz noted that the autopsy described fractures to particularly thick parts of the skull, as well as to bones in the roof of the eye socket. If you fracture your orbit, he said, referring to the eye bones, you have significant pain. The not ruptured veins in the space between the membrane covering the brain and the brain itself, causing blood to pool. The autopsy indicated the brain, secured in a hard skull, has nowhere to move. Doctors said, and the result is a compression of brain centers critically for breathing and other vital functions. No alcohol or illegal drugs was detected in the actor's system, according to the autopsy, but there were signs of clozapam, commonly known as Klonopin, which I know that drug way too well. My mother takes it whenever she has a panic attack. By benzodiazepine, that is used to prevent seizures and treat panic attacks. It's even my mother. I swear. Tests also found trazodone, an antidepressant, the report said. There were no indications in the autopsy finding that either of those drugs might have contributed to Saget's injuries, but doctors said that they could make people sleeping and contribute to a fall. Benzodiazepines are widely prescribed for older people despite warning about the side effects. People who take them face increased risk of falls and fractures, of auto accidents, and of reduced cognition. Use of multiple drugs is a very dangerous cause of falls in the elderly, said Dr. Neha, whatever. I can't even pronounce that name. The director of neuro emergency management and transfers for the Mount Sinai Health System. She said that some Combinations could cause drops in blood pressure or confusion. The report noted that Saget had an enlarged heart, but did not suggest any link to his death. It also found signs of coronavirus on a PCR test. So he had coronavirus. But did not suggest that the virus contributed to Mr. Saget's death. So he had coronavirus. And why wasn't he not wearing the mask? Or quarantining himself? The actor said on a podcast in early January that he had contracted the virus without specifying exactly when. PCR tests can show the presence of the virus days or even weeks after someone has recovered. Oh, okay. Mr. Saget, best known for his role in Full House for hosting America's Funniest Video, and thanked the appreciative audience of his stand-up comedy, set in a tweet early in the morning on January 9th, the day of the death. I had no idea I did a 2-hour set tonight. He said, I'm happily addicted again to this. So they're saying, other people are saying the same thing like I am, that there's no possibility that it was just from a normal fall. It had to be something very hard that hit his head to crack the thick part of the skull right here, and then shatter it from here and here, and then in front around here. So someone did something. I have a gut feeling someone did something to him. He said something he probably didn't like, that someone didn't like, and came into his hotel, found out where he was staying, stayed in his hotel, snuck into his hotel room somehow, because it's very easy to go to the reception desk, ask for so-and-so room key, because I've lost my room key. I'm Bob's like, You know what I'm saying? And sneak right in using that key. Because the receptionists don't know you from Adam. If you give them saying that you're this person and stuff and you just lost your key, they'll give you the key. I've done it. Not with someone else's apartment, hotel room or whatever. But if I could get my own without them asking me and showing proof who I really am, how do you know that some stranger can betray you and get into the hotel room? You know what I'm saying? Or some fanatical fan get into the hotel room where he was staying at. Kill him and stage it like it was just a fall. You know what I'm saying? And get away with it. Just putting it out there. Okay? People are crazy like that. I've watched too many crime things on YouTube, and where and I lived with a psycho brother, and I can tell you 100% that they can clean up their fingerprints off of things, wear gloves, hit somebody, and know how to freaking do it, and just leave the person. Just walk out the room. You know what I'm saying? And act like nothing happened. I mean, in my opinion, I mean, not professional opinion, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a neurologist, and if I get to see my neurologist, I'm gonna ask my doctor about what happens if how would someone get an injury like that in the back of the head? You know what I'm saying? and have it cracked from here to here, and then underneath the and say, could that be an indication of someone beating you up with something heavy, or could that just be caused by a fall? I mean, it's way in the future when I'm seeing her. I was supposed to see her soon, but she called out, so I have to wait until I get a closer appointment or in August. Yeah. But yeah, I I talk I can talk to him about stuff like that, you know. But in my opinion, he was murdered. I don't know if it was from a fanatical fan or if it was someone from, I hate to say, from the elite, or or someone that got pissed off with what he said during the comedy skit. Um, I don't know. You do the you can do the math. I mean, to me, it sounds like just like in that article it said that he was hit over the head with a baseball bat to cause those injuries. It couldn't be just from a slip and fall because it would have caused him to be delusional, be in pain, in so much pain that he would need to go to a doctor or the hospital or whatever, or be unconscious. He wouldn't just get up and go walk to bed and say, I'll sleep this off, and you know what I'm saying? Like the tabloids and everyone making you think. You know? Something fishy is going on here. It's either something fishy is going on here or it was murder. You know, something something's not right here about his death because he shouldn't have not died. Okay? Alright? He should not have died. Okay? Alright? I know Klonopin and all those drugs that my mom was on them. Okay? And it does make you very sleepy, especially Klonopin. Because I seen her take them. And she only takes them when she's in full-blown panic mode. Okay? Where she can't breathe and everything else. It calms you down. It puts you to sleep. And it puts you to sleep for hours. Okay? Hours. Okay? Because I grew up with her. The only time she would take the Klonopin was when she was in full-blown panic attack. Okay? And, I mean, it's just something's not right here. Something's not right here. And they should not put accidental here. It should be investigated further. Seriously, really think it should be investigated further. It shouldn't be an open or closed case on this. They really need to investigate this. Because, I'm sorry, there's something going on, in my opinion. I feel sorry for Bob Saget's family. I send their sympathies out there to them. Because I grew up loving and growing up with this man, and it was going on to my daughter. She was loving him and everything else. And for this to happen, it broke both of our hearts. And I don't know why this would happen to him if he was attacked. Now, and if he was attacked, I want to know why. Because if he was attacked, then that's homicide, aka murder. And there are celebrity murderers out there that do it for sinister reasons. Because Hollywood has been sinister for a really long time. I've seen it. It's not pretty picture. Okay. I mean, do your research on the Illuminati. Research on devil cults in Hollywood. I mean, it reaches into Scientology. It reaches into celebrity lives and seeing them doing all kinds of hand gestures and I mean, just do your research. You know, it's not safe for anyone to be in Hollywood in the fame game. Okay, and because you'll end up like Bob Saget, mysterious death, unexplained death, because he was healthy, other than having anxiety attacks, maybe at the most. He was having an enlarged heart, which he probably was about to go see a doctor about afterwards. He or something, he wasn't really, bothered with it and having the panic attacks. Other than that, he was a healthy man, and he wasn't elderly. He was not elderly enough by the least. He wasn't a frail old man. He looked healthy as a horse. You can tell he kept himself straight and narrow, no alcohol, no nothing. So how could he stumble and fall? You know what I'm saying? Slid backwards. Got. I mean, the only thing I can think of, maybe he slid on a towel in the bathtub. But how did he get from the bathtub? Because that would knock you out. Even if you hit your head on the sink or whatever, corner of the sink or something, that would knock you out. So how did he get from there to the bed? You wouldn't get up confused. And, I'm sorry. It's just something that's not, something's not right in, And I just want his death to be investigated a little bit closer, in my opinion. I would want this to find out if it was just a normal fall or was someone or did someone do something to this man? What did he do to deserve this? You know what I'm saying? Because he had a wife. He had friends. He had a life, and it was not right for it to be taken away. Even though it wasn't young, but it was still young. It's like my mother dying tomorrow. She was right around the same age as Bob. Even though I'm not speaking to my mother at this moment, but that's a whole another story. But yeah, it's like if she passed away tomorrow, and God, I would blame George, my stepfather, because he would be the only man around. I know he has a baseball bat. I know. And I know he gets drunk. He black out drunk. Because I've seen it. Okay? And Bob wasn't a drunk. He loved life. He had a big heart. There had to be something going on. And he wasn't. Weird. In this line right there. That line right there. Ooh, that's weird. Where's that my ceiling? No. No. Yeah. Just the way it looks. I question it. Let's see. My trusty handy dandy tarot cards. Let me get my book out. I'm kind of new at this. Still, let's see. Let's see. Okay, that came up. I do 5 cards. I always do 5 cards because then we get a clearer picture. Mom said, tell us everything that happened that day. I'm gonna come through, but looks like I have. Okay, we got that. Number 2. I'll show you each card when I look through the book. Okay? Let's see here. That was 2. Come on. Just 3 more. Tell me. Oh, come on. Tell me. Three. 4. Move this over. Oh! Drop the card. Excuse me. There. Interesting. This is the card that dropped. Looks like that then. Damn. Looks like that then. The Grim Reaper. Black Cloak. We got that one. In reverse. Looks like a weapon, doesn't it? Oh, I don't want the calendar. And then that. Let's see. Wheel of Fortune. And it's reversed. Don't mind me, my eyes are bad. So, let's see here. Instability. Unexpected disturbance. Short-term success. A temporary downturn in luck due to external forces beyond your control. Be prepared for contingencies, Success that can't last or is built on shaky ground. Let's see. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. Right side up. It says here. Vibrate. Tranquility. Security. Generosity. Abundance. Satisfaction. It's kind of like my eyes are bad. Let's see here. It says here peace and tranquility, relaxing into and enjoying a well rounded abundance, satisfaction with truths of one efforts or labor, a model of success due to thoughtful planning and follow through, someone who is accomplished, practical, and consistent. Sounds kind of like Bob, like that. Someone who is accomplished, practical, and consistent. Okay, demonstrating the qualities of at generosity, thoughtfulness, dignity, and or self-sufficiency. Someone who helps others and has a mindset that there is plenty to go around. That sounds like wow. Next one. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. Good. Ace of Wands. Inspiration, potential, new beginnings, creative success. Whoa, what the hell? I hate when things happen like that. Okay, stop. That was weird because I didn't press anything. Okay, powerful inspiration, an idea you feel strongly about, success in of all kinds of new plans and projects. Energy moving upward and outward with force and enthusiasm, often related to career or a creative pursuit. This is a great time to take an important step forward. What the frick? Next one, the sun. The sun reversed. Setback, delay, temporary blues. Don't focus on what isn't working right now. Trust that the experiences of joy, success, and easy rest will come again. Now, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 of Cups. Upright. Disappointment. Loss. Inability to move on. Regret. Unhappiness. The need to release old emotions and find new perspective. Feeling let down by circumstances. Inability to focus on positive feelings. Dealing on past disappointments or losses. This may relate to unhappy relationships, whether romantic love or friendship, or regrets over past behavior. Past behavior. Removing yourself from negative situations or people. Dwelling on what has gone wrong blocks you from new opportunities. Be patient and focus on what is going well as a side meaning issues with an inheritance may be involved. Kind of eerie, isn't it? Money could be involved with dealing with his death. Doesn't sound too swift now, does the card say? Painted a nice little picture. I wouldn't put it past it. His murder was money related. I mean, take it as you will. Take it as you will. But in my belief, I'm bad one down with him. I wouldn't put past it. I would not put past it. And this is Mr. Jesse signing off. And hold your loved ones dear. And rest in peace, Bob.